When Molly was starting high school, I was a little bit nervous because she only had like one friend in junior high, and that friend actually decided to go to a different high school. And so I was a little nervous about where she would connect with people in the high school. And I remember her freshman year, she would come home from school and I would ask her, you know, Molly, who did you sit with at lunch today? And she would tell me every day, I didn't sit with anyone. I sat alone.
Before I joined Best Buddies, school was really hard, and I basically just went to my classes and went home. Didn't really hang out with anybody, didn't really have any good friends here.
When I heard about Best Buddies her sophomore year, I was really excited. Did some research, went on the internet, found out what it was about, and then her and I went together to the first informational meeting. The next day, one of her special ed teachers called me and said, there was a girl at the Speed Friend thing last night that asked if she could be Molly's buddy.
This year I look forward to just having lots of fun with Hannah and doing a lot of fun things with her.
I've really seen a lot of our kids with disabilities at lunch. They're sitting with, all the other kids, and they're being included, and they're laughing together, they're joking together. And it's just been really great to see, conversations in the halls taking place, and they're not being treated as, lesser individuals or people with disabilities. They're really being treated as individuals.
It is hard for me to explain how much Molly has changed since Best Buddies. I've known her for 3.5 years, and she started out as this quiet, meek freshman with her head down, just plowing forward. And now she's this confident public speaker, she's a confident worker, she's assertive, and she smiles and she makes eye contact and she just glows.
Molly came home from a Best Buddies meeting and told me that she had been nominated from Best Buddies to be on the homecoming court. And I said, well, what does that mean? And she says, well, that means my name is going to be on the ballot. And I said, well, that's awesome. I said, are you excited? She goes, yeah. She goes, but I don't really care if I win, Mom. It's just an honor to be nominated. And that's how she said it. We thought that was so sweet. She was pretty nervous the day that they announced the homecoming court. And so my husband and I went to the pep rally, and normally parents don't go to that, so we kind of hid up in the balcony. And they started announcing names. And when they said, from Best Buddies, we knew right away that it was going to be Molly, and they said Molly Vock, and my husband and I were up in the balcony, and I just started crying. I just couldn't believe it. I was so excited for her, and she got up and she walked to the center, and I could see my other daughter across the gym sitting with her friends, and she was crying, and her friends were going crazy, and then the kids stood up, and I could hear the football players start chanting her name, and she just, her smile was so huge. It's everything that as a mom, you want all your kids to experience that in high school.
That was just an amazing experience because I didn't expect anything like that to ever happen to me. It was just really incredible.
When her name was called for homecoming court, I was sitting right next to Molly, and the whole gym erupted. She stood up with incredible poise, marched right down to the center of that gym, linked arms with her partner, and walked right up to join the rest of the court. She again got a standing ovation. She owned that gym. The entire varsity football team was shouting, Molly, Molly, and it was awesome. And I feel like Molly's always had this self-confidence and knowledge about herself inside of her, but I don't feel like she had an outlet until she met and got hooked up with Best Buddies, and now she has. And so I cannot wait to see what she's going to do next year. I have no doubt she's going to be successful. I bet my paycheck on it. But I'm excited to see what she does, and I'm excited to see how Best Buddies does this for other kids.
I think before Best Buddies, it was the special ed kids and the regular ed kids. And now I feel like it's one high school. And I know that that's going to trickle down into the junior high and the grade school, and we're creating a generation of kids that don't see differences. They see how people are alike. And to me, that's how Best Buddies is changing Wisconsin and changing our world.
It has changed the entire school. You can look at our Best Buddies roster and you can see it in two different ways. You can look at it and you can look at the names and you could see jocks or drama club or brainiacs. You could choose to look at it that way. Or you could look at the roster and see it for what it really is, which is just one group. It is just Best Buddies. We are all part of it, and it is fantastic. And it isn't just the people on the roster, it is the entire student body that it has changed.